What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of DK Metcalf's best route running against this Sunday night game against the Patriots. We're going to be talking about how you can get separation on a DB by selling the route with your eyes, with your hips, and being able to keep your head down and have laid hands. And then we're going to be talking about how to run a stop route, okay? So I hope this video gives you guys some value. And again, if you're a receiver and you guys want to improve your hands, right? You don't have a quarterback to throw you 150 freaking balls every single day. Check out that link in the description. It says how to improve your hands in 30 days, full 30-day program. Grip strengthening drills, hand-eye coordination drills to just make you an overall better pass catcher without a quarterback. No need to have a quarterback. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Let's get started. So this first route we're going to be talking about here is how Metcalf sells this thing with his eyes. He snaps his eyes real quick, commits his shoulders, commits his hips, and that's what gets Gilmore to try to undercut this route, and then we're able to accelerate and burst back upfield. So let's watch this thing full speed again one more time. So he gives him this kind of jab to the outside, gives those eyes, hips. That's what gets Gilmore to be a little bit greedy and try to jump this thing, right? Great job being a salesman on the route and finishing the play by being late with his hands. Okay, so let's talk about how this works, why this works, and just some of the things that you guys can do to make sure that you are able to get separation in a similar situation just like this. So when he comes off the line here, you see how he makes this just little wide step jab, bursts up to the inside, right? Very important that I just burst. I go right now because I'm trying to sell like I'm just getting this thing over the middle, like on this seam, like on this post, whatever the situation might be, right? So when Metcalf cuts over here and he breaks to the post, you see what shoots around his eyes, right? Now Gilmore is probably looking at those hips. I can assume he's looking at those hips, but DB's got to make sure that they're not looking up at the head and the shoulders because that will lie, right? A lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll look back with their eyes, but their hips will drift upfield. And when you're looking back and your hips drift upfield, you're not committed to the route, right? But you see when Metcalf gives those eyes, when he comes off here and he gives those eyes, snaps those eyes around, he commits his hips and he commits his shoulders. That sells like he's just going to be getting this ball right over the middle right now, which makes Gilmore greedy and wants to jump this thing. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is when maybe you're running like a post corner, maybe you're running like a blaze out, maybe out and up. When you sell that thing with your eyes and after you break up to the second portion, that second portion of this double move, you got to be able to maintain the separation that you created by selling the route. And how we do that is I want to keep my head down, I want to continue to pump my arms, and I want to continue to drive in the direction of the route, right? That's number one, because if you can get some separation, you got to be able to keep that separation. And that's what makes or breaks a good receiver and separates one from a great receiver, right? A lot of guys, you see it especially in high school, they'll beat the dude off the line, they got great feet, and then they kill themselves because they think, oh, okay, I got him beat, I could just cruise, I cruise up into this route, I do whatever. That's not the case. You got to be able to beat this dude and then keep that separation by continuing to keep your head down, continuing to drive those arms, and continuing to widen the gap. And that's exactly what Metcalf does. You see how he doesn't look back until he knows he's got him beat by a couple of steps. Now, it certainly 100% helps that he's got a quarterback who's got a great deep ball, who could just put this thing with air and just let him go run it down. That's what you guys should explain to your quarterbacks. Like, hey, I can beat this guy. I got speed. I can get him over the top. Just pick a spot and I will go run it down, right? That's what quarterbacks need to understand, that they're not going to hold this thing. Don't wait till they're open. We got a one-on-one matchup. Let's give him a chance. Let's put it over here on like the 10 or the 5-yard line, and we can make this catch. Now, here's the deal. We got to make sure that we finish the play, right? That's always what ties into this. Now, Gilmore is not in a horrible position to make this play, right? But we got enough separation that we needed to. Against a guy like Gilmore, this is probably a lot of separation. We're not going to be getting a whole lot of separation throughout the game. We're just not going to do it. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be an easy game, and no game at this level is an easy game. But when you're facing a good DB, these little things freaking matter. So now when this ball's coming over the top, you hear me talk about, if you're familiar with this page, having late hands, right? And you see how late his hands are. Metcalf just waits to almost the last second to have that thing drop into that pocket right there, or that bucket, whatever you want to call it, because Gilmore is going to be reacting off those hands. You see him start to slow down. You see him looking up for the ball. Gilmore knows, okay, I'm going to try to play these hands. I'm going to try to rip this thing out, but he ain't looking back for the ball, right? He's playing the man. He's playing Metcalf. So if Metcalf can be late with those hands, if you guys can be late with those hands, anytime you got to catch over the shoulder and maybe it's tighter coverage, that DB doesn't have time to react to it, right? But you start showing your hands early, start bringing those up in the air, start cutting that flight path down. DB's going to be easy to play because he knows exactly where those hands are going to be. He could put that hand right there, stuff this thing. But if we're late with my hands, I focus on watching this thing with my eyes and letting this fall right into the bucket, making sure I protect this ball. It's going to be an easier time for me to make certain plays over the top. Okay, this is a great job by Metcalf tying this whole thing together. Let's watch it full speed one more time. Hope this makes sense. Again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Just keeping that head down, accelerating out, widening the gap, and then being late with those hands to make a play. So now we're going to be talking about how to run this stop route. So when we run this stop route, Number one, if you guys are familiar with this page, you already know it's selling vertical, right? If I can push vertical and I can sell vertical and I make this DB believe, make him believe fate, and I sell this thing with speed, pad level, eyes, stride length, arms, everything that goes into being a salesman is got to be on display on this certain route, okay? Now, this goes for anything. This goes for a post. This goes for a dig. This goes for a corner, whatever it might be. But there are times where you want to change up tempo, right? So we're going to talk about a little bit of tempo change too, just giving you different situations. So you see how when Metcalf comes out here, fast guy, huge mismatch. So if he comes off and he's fast, Gilmore's going to start to get this tempo though, right? Gilmore's a good DB. He's going to start to understand, okay, he's coming off fast. He's bursting off the line like he does right here. You see how he comes off, he bursts up, keeps that head down and goes. Now imagine, let's say we get him on this stop route like we do right now. We're going to talk about the technique of the stop route in a second. So yeah, snap down, throw him off, catch this ball, be able to get some separation. Now imagine we're coming here and let's say we're running this full speed and then we give him a little bit of a hesitation skip, try to get Gilmore to stop his feet because he's expecting this stop route and then burst up vertical. Right? Or we maybe give him a little burst off the line, hesitation, burst again, then snap it off and run this stop. Changing up tempo, fellas, is so important when you're a fast guy, when you're a mismatch, when this DB is threatened by vertical, and especially in man coverage like this, and sometimes hell even in zone or off man, because they especially don't want to get beat if you're on the outside, that your tempo change is so important if you have speed, right? So if you're a fast guy, you know you can run into breaks, and you know you could snap it off on a dime without giving away anything, you've got to be able to change up your tempo, because in a situation like this, that's how it builds. Okay, so now let's talk about the technique of the route. Okay, it's enough of that, enough of the situational stuff. Let's talk about it. So the only way you're able to run full speed and change direction is by being violent with these hips. And by violent, I mean snapping right in stride. Like think of your hips as like an anchor to a ship, or think of the hips as like a guillotine that drops down, cuts a dude's head off. How quick it has to be, how freaking fast it snaps down. That's what we want to be with my hips. So you see how he keeps that head down. He's running. It's like he's running a 40 and he snaps, right? Right in stride. You see how his stride length stays the exact same, because if we could keep the same stride length, same speed, same body language, that makes the DB believe, right? That's the very first thing I said. We got to make him believe fade. So now, when we snap it off like this, violent snap, and you see as he's snapping, he's swatting that elbow, right? This is perfect technique right here. He doesn't show it too early, because what a lot of people do is they'll be running stride for stride with a DB. They'll put their hand on him. They'll keep running while their hand's on him, and then they go slow into this break. DB reacts, and he's all over this thing. You see at the last second, he swats and he chops, right? So snap, chop, and you see what that does. If we're physical at the top of the route, we get the DB to turn his hips, we get his hips to lock out, and that's separation. That is a lot of separation against this caliber of a DB. That's a great job by Metcalf there, right? So now, on a stop route, this is the technique I teach. You can snap with your outside leg, right? But I always teach snap with the inside leg, because we could just go 1, 2, and we're out of this break right now. We don't got to worry about, especially on a stop route, the ball should be out early. The ball should be out before we turn, because you guys got chemistry like that with your quarterback. So we could just snap 2. Ball should already be there, and we don't have to accelerate out anything. So it's not really important to be able to turn those feet and stuff like that. You want to be able to just snap, hook the outside leg around, and just kind of sit there with those hips back open to the quarterback. This is great technique here by Metcalf, and then making this catch. And let's get upfield. Let's burst upfield right now. Let's get this first down. Great work by Metcalf. Let's watch it again full speed one more time. So keeping that head down, making sure we snap and swat, drop those hips, be violent, and then catch that ball. And let's burst upfield. Let's go get as much as we can. All right, guys. I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comments. And again, if you guys want to improve your hands, you're a receiver, don't have a quarterback to throw to you, it's one of the most beneficial things, because if we can't finish the play, all this other crap doesn't matter. Check out that link in the description. It says how to improve your hands in 30 days. I'll see you guys next time.